Hi there. I've got today a bumblebee jasper here. I've started storing them on little cards, so I know where I got them from, when I got them, and what they are basically. But I've got a lovely bumblebee jasper there, and I have a little silver bumblebee. Excuse the state of my fingers. I have been jewellery making all morning and my hands are a disgrace. But I've got a little silver bumblebee that I cast with silver in my Delft clay setup, and I thought, wouldn't that look nice on there? So what I'm going to do is go off. I've got here my stuff. I've got the core drill for drilling the hole in the stone. If you don't know how to do that, it's in my stone on stone video. I won't show you again because it's quite lengthy and quite boring if you have seen it before. So I'll put the link in the description below. Also, there's the tube that I'm going to put on the back of the little bumblebee. I've been playing around with which way up to put this because it's quite an unusual shape, which I love. But I've been trying to work out whether to put it that way and the bee there and all sorts of things. But I've had it sitting on the bench all morning, and I've come to the conclusion that I actually like that orientation best. So I'll go off and drill my hole, then I'll put the post on the bumblebee. That is exactly the same as putting the post on the stone on stone, so that will also be in the video. But I thought it was just something a little bit different. Rather than setting another stone on top of the stone, I'll set the bumblebee. So I hope you're interested in that, and I'll go off and do my little chores and I'll come back to you. Right, I've now got this all set up for soldering. I've got it in the third hand, all propped up there. It's all fluxed and the solder's on there. I just wanted to show you that obviously instead of soldering on to the back of a bezel, which is what we did for the stone on stone, we're actually going to go straight onto the back of the bee. So I will go and solder that on and get back to you. On this occasion, and very unusual for me, I've actually made a plan. Pencil to paper. There's the bumblebee jasper. It is a nice brighter colour than that, if I can get it in the light for you. The bee's not attached as of yet. That's my back plate, which I'm now going to saw out. And these are what I'm planning. I'm planning to put this, as you can see, onto another piece of silver, which is going to be wider and taller, give a border all the way around, and then I'm hopefully going to put textured square wire around that and a couple of little jump rings at the top for the chain. So that's the plan. Hopefully it'll turn out something similar. So I'm going to go off and saw this out now, and then I'm actually going to melt it down with some other silver to make the extra black back plate. So I'll see you in a while. What I'm going to do now is melt down some silver to make the back sheet for this pendant. I've got some, it's about 10 or 11 grams in there, but I'm going to use this. I've had this quite a while, but to be honest, I've never used it. So I don't want wire, so what I'm going to do is undo this, which is like a little clamp that goes on this, and then what I can do is take this apart because I'm just stuck. Oh, there we go. Right, I don't know why that was stuck. Hey ho, that was stuck. So what I can do is, if I turn this the other way around like that, I then have a hole that I can make sheet with rather than wire. So I only want a little bit, so I only want In fact, what I'm going to do before I get that set up is here I've got a little bit of cooking oil and a little bit of kitchen towel, and I'm going to just rub that on there. Bit on both sides. So that's that. Right, put that out of the way. And then we're going to put these two together like this. Probably, oh, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. If I do it too close, I'll have wire, won't I? I'm going to do it like that. Oops, it slipped a little bit less. I think I'm going to try that. So then we put this back on. We could probably... Okay, you know I always share my mistakes with you. I don't think there's going to be too much in there. It'll probably come out as wire, but we'll have a look. The reason being, when I was swirling my silver around in my crucible, some went over the edge and it fell into this pumice stone. So I've got a nice little a little monster shape there that went in there. So I'm going to just pickle that and see what it comes out like. So what I was meaning to say is I've got less in here than I should have. So it may not be that successful, but we'll have a look. If I can get this wretched screw open. Ah, there we go. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Oh, not that successful. Wow, I don't think I tipped it in quick enough. Can you see? That's, oh, I'm glad I've shared this with you anyway, so you can see what happens if you don't pour it in properly. The trouble is it's hot. Come on, monkey, let's have you. There we go. So, what I've got, interestingly enough, is that, which is not going to make a nice back plate for my pendant. So I'm going to do that again. In fact, what I'm going to do is definitely put more silver in. I think that's one of my problems. I was trying, and I do this regularly. I don't know why. I've got loads of scrap silver, but I just a bit meany. I needed to put more silver in as well, and I suspect that's gone like that because I didn't pour it in quick enough and it's cooled down as it's gone in. So I'm going to see if I can do a better. I'll do the same thing again, but I'll try and do it better and I'll come back and show you. But as you know, I like to show my mistakes as well as my successes, so there you go. That's what we've ended up with. Useless. I'll be back.
Have you both seen the film? Because I've seen it loads. Well, so Sam, we said twice, but Johannes, this is the big one for you. How many times have you actually seen them?
Okay, let's open this up and see what we've got. I think that I had to learn, but I personally think that this is too big for the small amount of metal that I want to melt. I think I'd have been better off scooping out a little square in a charcoal block and pouring into that, and it may end up with me doing that, but let's see what we've got first. Oh, not too bad, not too bad, better than I was expecting, I do have to say. So I don't know if can you see, this is still, yeah, it's still hot. Excuse me. Right, what we've got is this. So let's put that flat. See if we can. I don't know what that is. I don't know why I've got that little ball. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Came off easy enough. The oil did its job. Okay, so the workable part of this, I don't think is too bad. It's quite thick, so I can probably get it into the size I want by, well, I'll hammer it first. Look, it's quite thick and it's that shape. But if I saw it sort of oblong, if I saw this piece off down here and then hammer it thinner and then start rolling it out, I should be okay with that. Actually, I am not too displeased with that. I did have another little bit. Where's that? Clearly that was a failure, but that can go back into my scrap pot and we can melt that again next time. So I'm going to go off and see what I can make of that. But all in all, not too bad. Right, I've got my lovely ingot here. It's 4mm thick, which is great. I've sawn that off because I want more of a I've sawn that off because I want more of a rectangular piece. What I'm going to do is hammer that down. It's let's see if I can show you. Sorry, I'm holding the camera with and it's wobbling about, so apologies for that. Let's put this on here. So that is now 22mm by, let's see if I can show you, by 19mm, and it's 4mm thick. So let's I'm going to hammer it first, then I'm going to put it through the rolling mill. So I'm aiming probably for about 9.9 mil or 1 mil thick, but we'll see. So I'll go and work on that and I'll come back and show you. I've now got the back plate all rolled out. What I've done is I've stuck that bezel on with double-sided tape in order for me to get my dividers and go round the edge. All right, I'm holding, it's not very still, am I? There we are. To go round that bezel, and I've marked round the edge an even amount round there. I've marked it all out. So now I'm going to saw around that, and then I'll come back to you. Okay there, I've now sawn this out. Please excuse my hands. It's that time of year. It's a few weeks now before Christmas, so everyone wants everything last minute. But I'm taking a bit of time for myself to finish this off. So I've sawn that out, and I know it looks rough. This is still glued on with double-sided tape. I left it on there while I did my sawing. So what I've got here is a 2mm square wire, and in my original drawing I've got this hammered wire round the outside. Now the reason I'm not bothered that this is rough is because when I come to look at it, what I want to do is raise this back plate up from that, but we'll deal with that in a minute. But I want to put this all the way around. Now I think that's probably going to be too far, to be honest with you, now I see it like that. So I'll probably bring that in, so there's a nice distance or evenly all the way around. So I'll probably do it like that. Now I think I'm going to hammer the edge. It's a backplate which is textured square wire. So I think I'm going to texture the square wire. It's all right, I was just reading off my original notes. I'm beginning to think this was a good idea. I don't normally make notes, but it's working out fabulously because I've had a little break in between. I've come back to it. So I'm going to texture this, then I'm going to shape it, and then take this off and solder this on. But I'll do a little bit. I'll go away and texture my square wire. So as I say, that's 2mm square. It's a really nice wire actually. 2mm square, it's quite substantial. So I'm going to put some texture in it, then I will shape it and cut it and solder it on, but I'll probably come back to you before I do that. So first of all, I'll do the texturing, then I'll probably come back to you. Okay, see you in a little while. Okay, we've got to this stage now. I know it's so you can see the you can see the texture better probably if I put it there, can't you? So there's all textured. It's not the perfect shape to go round because I've been texturing it, it is actually quite hard now. So I'm going to anneal it and then shape it and get it to whatever size I find pleasing to go around there. So I'll go off and do that, but the texture is exactly what I envisaged. In fact, here's my, let me see, here's my little notebook, and there's the texture that I drew originally on my original drawing. So I'm really happy with that. So I'll go on, I'll go and anneal this and shape it and probably solder it together, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, this is where I'm up to now. All these pieces are separate. I did my fancy bezel with the you can see it, I think. This isn't stuck on. What I did was I as you know, I'd stuck that on with double-sided tape, and then while it was still stuck on, I went round the edge with a black Sharpie just to mark out where I'm beginning to wish I'd have left this bigger and not sawn it out. I shouldn't have sawn it out before I've attached this. I've only just realised that, but for future reference, that needs to be put on first. So it's going to be a bit of a balancing game, but I did that so that I could remember where that went, and then that can go on there, and then it can be all soldered on. There we go. So I'm going to go off now, clean all that up, solder it on, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I've put these down. I've got them flat as well, so that I know that they'll be a good fit when I come to put that on there and solder it. So that's where we are now. So that's sitting nicely. I'll get it positioned. Hope it doesn't move too much when I come to solder it, or else I'll have a problem. But I'll get all that set up and come back when it's soldered on. But it's all nice and clean now, ready for soldering. Now that the tube's been cut off this, and everything's dry, I'm now going to get my burnisher, and I'm going to put the tip in that hole and burnish that silver tubing around just to give it that extra added bit of strength. Just flare out the silver. I know we've got a bit of glue on there, but if you wanted to do it without the glue, you could actually just flare out your tube with something like this. I always use my burnisher and it really works very well. But yeah, you can probably see that now. It's all nice, getting nice and smooth. Little bit more work to do. Smooth it out. Yep, that feels really nice. So eventually that's going to fit in the bezel like that, and that's going to fit in there like that. But what I want to do next is I want to make 4 little balls of silver. I'm going to get some scrap silver and I'm going to ball it up, and I want to put 4 little balls of silver on there. I want to make sure they're all the same size. In fact, I've got my scales here, I shall weigh it, and I shall put 4 little balls on there, all the same size, because what I want to do is slightly raise that up so that there's a little bit of a gap between the stone and the back plate. So I'll go away and I'll make those little balls and solder them on there, and I'll come back and show you how it'll look. Right, here we go. Now, as planned, I made the 4 little silver balls to raise this up off the silver. But when I tried it, it's raising them up it's raising it up too far, and they would need to be really tiny little silver balls. So I've decided against using those, but I do still want to lift it up. But what I've found is this. A little thin, I think it's probably 1 mil. I'm not sure, it's very thin though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder that on the back of there like that, and then I'm going to put it on there once it's soldered on, and then solder the whole lot onto that. Now, I don't know if you can see, but yes, you can see now. These are not soldered on, but this is how I'm going to attach the chain. I'm going to solder on these little part jump rings onto the top, then attach the chain to those. So I'll go off, I will solder that circle onto there. Oh, well, onto there, sorry. Then I will solder that onto the back plate. I'll give all these things a polish before I put them together, and then I will solder these onto there as well. So I'll go off and do all the soldering, and I'll bring it back once I've finished that. I'm actually quite liking how it's coming. I hope you do too. Okay, here we are. I've soldered the 2 part jump rings on the top to fasten the chain to. I've given this a bit of a polish. I have soldered the silver ring on the back of that so that it's raised up. That will go on there. Make sure it's straight. So I'm going to solder that now. So basically all I've got to do is solder that on there, set the stone and add the chain. So I think I'll probably actually come back to you when it's all completed, but I'm quite liking it as it is at the minute. So I'll see you at the end, probably when we're done. I just wanted to show you that soldering the bezel onto the back plate is quite a heavy piece of silver. So what I used, let me come out and see, what I used was my tripod with the gauze on top. I think it's called gauze, it's like a wire sheet, and I heated it from underneath like that. So let me try and stand back, and I heated it like that. occasionally going onto the top, and I'm sorry, I hadn't realized I was going to do that, otherwise I would have filmed it, but having filmed it, having done it, I thought it would be useful for you to know what I've done, because that's a I won't touch it because it's hot, but that's a real heavy piece of silver that we're mounting onto, so that's the way I did it, heated it from underneath. Hope that's useful. I've just popped on with an exciting little addition to this little video. In the UK, one of our main jewellery component suppliers, they sell all the silver wire, silver sheet and earring findings, all the bits and pieces that we need. It's not the only one, but it's one of the main ones, and they have offices in Birmingham, London, in the Jewellery Quarter in Birmingham, and in Hatton Garden in London. I'm not sure if there are others, but there's certainly those two. So they're one of the biggest, and every month on Facebook they have a competition which is for designer of the month, and each month they have a different theme and people enter, and it's not random. Excuse me, you do get judged, and I entered this one, the one we've just been talking about, and I won. I was so excited, and one of the main things, one of the most exciting things, is that you win £100 credit to your account. So I'm off now to look in their catalogue and order myself lots of goodies, free of charge, up to £100, and who knows what I'll get. Lots of new toys, hopefully. So there it is, all done, all finished, entered into the competition. So the next few little photos are the winning little sign that they put on their Facebook page once I'd been chosen. So I just wanted to share that exciting news with you. Thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.